So today I'm going to inform you on fantasy football and how that works. The reason people like to do fantasy football because when you get to your mid-40s, a lot of people realize their hopes of being in the NFL is now gone. So they have to have some way to hold on to that, and usually fantasy football comes in handy. So first thing you got to do is gather your scouting report. This is very important. It takes a lot of time. There are a lot of apps, websites that you can use. You need to make sure things like you draft players that don't have the same bye week, and the bye week's the week they don't play. You got to make sure you get enough for each position group. It depends on the league you're in, but usually you have the most of receivers, and then running backs are really important. So you really need to look at your scouting report on them because they'll get you the most points. And so that's a very important part. Next, you need to get a group together and make sure they're. Usually helps if you know them because then the competitive edge just ups a little bit. Trash talking is definitely encouraged, whether it's a work group or family, friends. I know my family, we do it. It's pretty big. Trash talking is definitely big. It's fun. And it's a lot of fun to have a good team name. I know my uncle Stednica, his name is Stephen Kraft. It's just a lot of fun name. That's a really important part of fantasy too, to get a good name going. Alright, so then you have draft days. So usually they meet at like a BW3's. My dad, he FaceTimes it now that we've moved away. And it's a long, like, probably like 2-hour process. That's Tom Brady when he was being evaluated back in the day, yeah. That's the golden of the NFL.
That's, yeah. It's like, dude.
So yeah, you start off. I know my family does it. You draw from a hat, 1 through how many players there are, and the first person gets to pick first, obviously. But then the last person gets to pick twice when they go, and then it goes forward and then backwards and forwards. And so I believe there are 8 rounds, and let's see, roster of, I don't know the roster. I think it depends on the league too. And so I know in our league, you only draft individual offensive players, and then you pick a whole defense. And so again, that's why your scouting report is so important. And then checking the status. So this is the part where basically it becomes your life. So you need to be constantly getting ready to go every Sunday. It locks in Sunday night, so you can't change anything after that throughout the week. And so you got to make sure you check who has a bye week and who you're playing match up against, and you play the right players because you have a bench. And then they have like waiver wire, like you're managing your own team just in a fantasy sense. So if you see a player had like a surprising player had a good amount of points, you want to pick them up as long as they clear waivers, and you become on your team, you just have to drop someone else. And so that part gets really competitive because you have to wait till that opens up, so whoever bids on it first gets first dibs on it. And so that becomes competitive too. So yeah, and this picture right there is usually what the draft looks like on the computer screen. It shows color coded by position, and then you have to watch every single game. That's really really important because if you don't, I mean, how will you know who's doing what? And to do that, we found it really handy, this little thing called the NFL ticket, where you get every single game hooked up to your computer. It's a little bit of an addiction. So you have to be careful. But when your team wins, it's a great feeling. So a little bit more about it. It's usually about 14 weeks. Again, depends on your league. You do get a playoff if you make it. It also depends on the amount of people in your league. And the winner, I know our family gets a big cash prize and a trophy with your name on it. So, and then of course, bragging rights for the whole year are absolutely huge when we get together with the family. So that's fantasy football. It's a lot of fun. I encourage you to try it if you're willing.
Thank you.